Good morning. It's me, Pro from Pearl in the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine aspects of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us from our outside world. So, interactions with others, our ability to manifest things, all influenced by that energy inside of ourselves. I'll describe the energy as masculine and feminine, but that's not gender. It's really just about duality of self. And if you want to see changes, you have to make changes with it. All right, let's look at Divine Masculine first because he had the most cards showing. Divine Feminine only had one card showing today, and it was the Tower. So I don't know what to expect over there on her side, but let's see what Divine Masculine is thinking today. This is the top of the deck. Also, you'll have to forgive me. My friend's birthday was yesterday, and I had a little bit too much tequila, as the Divine Feminine is singing in her song today. If you follow me on Instagram, I post a time lapse of the shuffling that I do before this reading, and I will include the songs that come up during the shuffle, which today there was a song called All That We Need Is Love, which was weird. It shuffled on my library, my Apple Music library, which is pretty huge. So I don't know, it's probably up to 16,000 songs at this point, but that particular song came from a playlist of my DM. So I was like, okay. And then Divine Feminine song was Tequila by the Pretenders, which I think came up for Divine Masculine like back in January. So that same song came up again, but this time it was on her side and I was feeling it. I actually didn't have tequila last night. I had rosé, but I decided I wanted cake, but I was ordering from Bevmo through Instacart. So I couldn't get cake. Fine, I'll just get like a sweet drink then when my friend has cake because it was virtual. So I got these totally packed. I was like, oh, the packaging was like in the picture, and it was 15% alcohol. And I was like, cool, I'll get one of those. That'll be like a shot or whatever. And it was called Chalk Teas by the company Buzzballs. And it tasted like a White Russian kind of. But it was really strong. So got my ass handed to me by those two little cocktails last night and then had more rosé. So this Divine Feminine resonates with the song that was played for the Divine Feminine today. I'm a little tired. My voice sounds like I was drinking all night. So there you go. I apologize for that. All right, let's focus. Divine Masculine, top of the deck. Overall, forefront of his mind. He's thinking about this Divine Feminine. This is the Six of Swords, but we're looking at it in the Housewives Tarot. And it's so pronounced that in this particular image, normally for the Six of Swords, we're seeing the boat. Divine Masculine is ferrying a Divine Feminine away from what we can assume was some kind of struggle or strife to some place that's much better than where they had been. But there's an uncertainty. Like, we don't know what's going to happen when we get to that new place. We're just assuming it's going to be better because we've learned how to function in a much better way now as we're going into this next phase of our lives. So, make this full screen. So Divine Masculine is, he's thinking about this in general, like the lessons that he has learned, or I mean, he's still kind of learning his lessons if it's in reverse. When I see a reversal on Six of Swords, I usually get a sense of a discomfort with the uncertainty. So kind of not wanting to make a move because you don't know exactly where it's going to take you. That's a common thing that I feel for this card. But because of the imagery that we're looking at from Housewives, I strongly feel we see just Divine Feminine walking away. She's got her suitcase. She's like, bye. And there's these three feminine faces. One looks distressed. One looks like really surprised. One just looks like bemused. It's like the different phases of feminine. But because there's three there, I also think of third party. So the thing that I think that this Divine Masculine is consuming him right now is his worries that Divine Feminine is going to move on. She's going to walk away. He doesn't know where she's going to go. she's going to go off into some kind of third party energy or whatever. He's afraid of it and he's concerned about it right now. He doesn't like this feeling. It's very uncomfortable. The niggling thing in the back of his mind is getting a spanking there from Divine Feminine. This is justice. But justice, of course, this could be about actual legal matters that Divine Masculine is awaiting the results of too. Like there could be a feminine that has left and there's a legal matter that's being addressed. Something like that. Could be like that. But I really just sense very much that this Divine Masculine is just super afraid of Divine Feminine moving on, especially when I look at the rest of his spread right now. So the niggling thing in terms of justice, while there may be an actual like legal decision that's underlying all of his thoughts at this time, I think it's about really him realizing that he needs to bring justice to a Divine Feminine who he doesn't want to lose. It's like this niggling feeling is, if you don't do justice to this, if you don't go receive your punishments for the things, the strife and the struggle, and actually learn your lessons, bitch, you're gonna get spanked, right? That's definitely the feeling there. So I love that image so much. That image is the greatest. First thing on his mind, the Divine Feminine, the Star. This is, of course, a card that in traditional tarot is about healing and it's about making a wish. It's about hope. The Divine Feminine taking the unconscious and pouring it into the material. In the Housewives Tarot, we're seeing this prize-winning Divine Feminine, and she's really shining. And she's also, she's the homemaker, right? So there's this, like, Divine Masculine is thinking about how much this Divine Feminine will shine in terms of like her role in his life as well. He really, really wants to be able to share this with others at this point too. And he's really holding on to that hope, like the way she's holding on to that cherry pie. He is holding on to this hope that he's going to be able to bring this justice. But not yet, because there's the Ten of Pentacles. If all the cards in this spread, or if the majority of the cards in this spread that are reversed right now, we're actually not reading, but we're looking at a Divine Masculine withholding this offer of family, marriage, whatever it is that constitutes material health, well-being, and prosperity for Divine Masculine. It's still not realized. It's still in reverse. It's like, it's ready. It didn't have to come out of the deck, right? It didn't have to be the Ten of Pentacles. So it's here, and he's got everything in place. But the Four of Wands that follows it is also in reverse. So Divine Masculine is afraid of commitment again, I guess. Or it's just like coming up because it's so close. Because everything is ready or something. But he's feeling that the foundation isn't stable. He's worried about it. These are also his anxieties too. So we're just looking at things he's afraid of too. So that this foundation isn't stable enough. I also see myself in this image of me last night, really enjoying beverages. But there's this is such an interesting image because she's propped herself up on these mops, which in the Wands suit of this deck, cleaning implements are the wands. They stand in for the place of the wands. So she's got these 4 mops, and she's rigged herself this hammock of some kind. She's got a book, she's got a drink, and then below her, it's like this beautiful new home is being constructed here. This is a card about marriage and sacred union and celebration, so it's interesting to see only the one Divine Feminine there with her drink. I guess we can see down at the bottom, there's a really tiny little couple there. And there's a car. It's like the house, the car. It's everything that we're not seeing in this Ten of Pentacles. All we see in this Ten of Pentacles is this big estate. Oh, I bet that's a package. So again, Four of Wands, Sacred Union, marriage card. Doesn't have to be here, but it's here. So he's been withholding these things from Divine Feminine. This is what he's thinking about. This is why he's worried she's going to go, because he's not been giving her this commitment. He's not been giving her material happiness. The next thing on his mind is the Seven of Cups, which I mistook the Ten of Cups for yesterday. And you can see why, because it had all those drinks on it. So the Seven of Cups is about having put a lot of things into a bunch of cups and not knowing now, like having a lot of options, having a lot of potential choices to make, and not really knowing, but kind of being confused about which one to select because you have so many good options. This is clarifying. It's in reverse, and it's clarifying the star. So Divine Masculine is afraid that if he withholds this offer, because the next card is the Ace of Pentacles in reverse again, where Divine Masculine is again, has an offer but isn't giving it, is not giving it to her, is withholding it. If he continues to withhold this offer, Divine Masculine is afraid that she is going to choose one of the other options she has. For Divine Masculine, she is the one. Divine Feminine is the one for him. And he is afraid that Divine Feminine is going to make a choice to choose someone else because she is such a star. And there's got to be someone who's going to step up and scoop her up before he can get there. Because for whatever reason, he's not offering this, even though it's here. And who would he offer it to? Who's he withholding it from? A specific iteration of the Divine Feminine, the Queen of Pentacles. This is a very intimidating queen, actually. She's usually not. The Queen of Pentacles, she's just fertile, abundant. She's very fixed. You can't really tell like where her throne ends. It begins kind of empressy energy like that. It's rare that we see a Queen of Pentacles that's towering over like this. But she towers over this family. Look how she's patting Divine Masculine on the head. Like, you know, like, I got it. Don't worry about it. So Divine Masculine sees this Divine Feminine as a formidable opponent in this whole thing. But he is withholding this marriage from her. And he's afraid if he keeps doing this because of his fears of committing, she's going to choose to move on. So this is what he's thinking about a lot. Poor guy. Top of the deck, overall head, heart space. The Lovers. He wants to ferry this union to sanctuary, okay? The Six of Swords here, he wants to do this. He knows, though, Divine Feminine's really not the type that needs the Divine Masculine to ferry her anywhere, you know? So there's conflict in him because he knows that this isn't the role that she expects him to have, that she doesn't need saving. So there's a little bit of conflict there because he wants to be in his Divine Masculine. He doesn't want to be, like, diminished, right? And I think there are fears about Divine Masculine being in Divine Feminine's shadow, right? This is maybe one of the reasons he's afraid of committing to her. He loves her so much. She's the center of his universe, and even she probably can't believe that at this point because of the lack of movement that's been happening. But if he was really honest with himself, he probably would just kind of let her, it would just do everything for her. And he knows that that's like a codependency issue. That's some of the devil things he's been working on about self-love, etc. But I think that Divine Masculine is worried in his headspace that to a certain extent, divine feminine could potentially outshine him and make him look small or insignificant in some way. Or maybe he feels insignificant in comparison to her. Like he doesn't feel important or like she needs him because she's such a star. So there could be those thoughts going on too. Regardless, in his heart, all he can think about is this union coming together and manifesting what it is that he desires. And the niggling feeling in the back of the heart is the Five of Swords in reverse. So this is a divine masculine that's unwilling to accept defeat in regards to the lovers. He might be afraid and he's trying to counter his fears about his ability to hold on to a star like this, to be able to keep divine feminine. Maybe he's worried she will break her commitments because she will outgrow him, you know? So he's just afraid. He's like, I know she says she loves me and she does, but she doesn't really know what she's talking about. And and once she finds out who I really am, you know, she's going to see like she's larger than life to me. That's another thing too. Infinitely larger than life there. You know? But he doesn't want to accept defeat. He doesn't want to be defeated by his fears. He doesn't want to continue to keep himself protected from her because of his fears about whether she's going to outshine him or whether she's going to outgrow him or whether, you know, whatever it is. He's just like, all right. The heart space is like, come on, don't be defeated by this. It doesn't make any sense. Six of Cups. He just really wants to reunite with his divine feminine. He's immersed in these blissful thoughts about her. There's nostalgia here for her. It's funny because this deck itself is nostalgic, and this image is so nostalgic, right? Like the cherry pie, like come on. So this is a divine masculine who is profoundly nostalgic as an individual, and for the most part, what makes this union so precious to him is all of their memories and the unique way in which they found one another. I feel he has a love of that as well. Then we're seeing impatience with himself. Impatience with himself for sitting on this Ten of Pentacles and not moving on it. You know, I didn't mention this, but this can also be about trying to release attachment to outcome, holding on to your hope, not really being sure what's going to happen, and just hoping it goes okay. So there could be also that, because the Seven of Pentacles is about we planted the seeds and now we're waiting for them, we're nurturing them, we're trying to we want to harvest them. And so I feel that the heart space is like it's time to harvest these pentacles, right? Your return on your investment is here, and it's time now to harvest the fruits and share them. This Four of Wands. This is his wish. The Nine of Cups. Clarifying the Four of Wands. To me, if you get the Nine of Cups, whether it's in reverse or whether it is upright, to me, what that is about is you will get this wish fulfillment that you have. What's the wish fulfillment in this case? This stabilization, sacred union, and marriage with the divine feminine. Seeing that Seven of Pentacles in reverse, we're also seeing this Hanged Man energy in reverse because there's no longer, he's not suspending himself anymore. He's not pausing. He's making a decision to come out of this place of reflection where he's honestly been overthinking and just move forward. Stop being paused. But he has gained perspective and he can stand on his own. He understands, and I think actually this is the heart space also. There's a sense here that while his head is like divine feminine's gonna move on if I don't make a move and stuff, I feel like the heart is like she's already chosen you. She's not she doesn't have other options. Not because she doesn't have them. If she wanted them, she doesn't want them. And that's kind of the perspective that divine masculine's heart space has gained too, to counter that fear that he has in his head space. Divine feminine's gonna move on. the moon, clarifying the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So this is interesting because this could indicate that divine masculine has a surprise. There's something he's keeping secret or hidden, and this mystery of this offer is going to be revealed at some point. This is a card also about fears, anxieties, subconscious limiting beliefs, and it can be about your intuition, things like that. I see a couple of things. I do see like the surprise element here, that there's a mystery behind how divine masculine wants to present this offer. But the other thing I see is that he has had to go within in that hanged man energy. The perspective that he's gained is seeing the limiting beliefs that kept him from giving this offer and getting a sense of how he actually was preventing himself from being able to have what it is that he desired. So that's sort of what he's learned from this journey. And the Eight of Swords in reverse, clarifying the Queen of Pentacles, which I love because in the Cosmic Tarot, which I was called to use today, the Eight of Swords has this beautiful image of the two twins in this, not very confining prison of swords, standing on ice and not looking at one another while looking for one another, but not just turning around and being there. So that all that protection, all of that stuff, it is all about this keeping yourself. It's the illusion of separation. That's, I guess, what we would say. So the perspective he's gained, the limiting beliefs that he's digging out, they're about how the two of them also, not just himself here, because I feel that he's aware that this is a duality, that the both of them have been protecting themselves from this experience that divine masculine is worried about, an overbearing divine feminine energy, right? He's worried about that. Not because he thinks divine feminine is overbearing. I don't think he does. I think he's had overbearing feminine energy in his life before, so he associates that energy with feminine energy. And I also think that for him, it's just more that because he sees her as this incredible star, he's just worried about her sort of overshadowing him. And that is another reason that he's protected himself from going towards a specific iteration. Okay, let's look at divine feminine. Like I said, divine feminine did not show any cards today except for the Tower. And then we start for divine feminine, top of the deck. Overall, forefront of the mind, the Ace of Cups. So we had the Ace of Pentacles. Now we've got the Ace of Cups. I think yesterday we had the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Swords. We might have even had the Ace of Cups yesterday. I don't know. There's been a lot of aces. So divine feminine is thinking about filling up her own cup, self-love, receiving a reflection of the love that she has for self. And she's thinking about just love in general. It's consuming her mind. She also might be taking care of herself, trying to do the best that she can to provide herself with love. I've heard from people in the collective, they're dating themselves, that stuff like that. And so she's very focused on this. I sense that divine feminine, even though divine feminine has many things going for her, because the next card that's coming up, and just because I know that she does, I sense that she feels like she can only think about love. And it's kind of frustrating to her because she's like, is that all I am? Just a love receptacle? Like, I'm not really anything else. Like, I'm not like, I'm not whatever my career is. I'm not this. And, I'm not a mother for some of us. And I'm not like, why is the only thing I think about love? Like, that's the other thought she's got. She's just like, I'm more than that. I'm more than just this one thing. So I feel a little bit of chafing at that energy too. The niggling thing is the Nine of Pentacles. This is a card that from the field tarot says culmination, because what happens after the Nine of Pentacles? The Ten of Pentacles, right? Over on Divine Masculine side, so we've got that progression. For this deck, we are seeing no depiction of a figure. Normally, we see a Divine Feminine. That's the most common from the OG Smith Waite. And we will see in some of the decks that have a more Divine Feminine sort of focus that they will put sometimes. There's the Peacock energy, which is a male energy that is in the Mystic Mondays deck. For the most part, we're almost always seeing a Divine Feminine. And the card has a single and fabulous kind of a thing. It's got a rewarding self-indulgence. It's you've worked really hard and now you're at this point where you can finally give yourself some rewards, you know? Like yesterday when I got my new Lenormand deck and my Thomas Merton book, which I had like a meditation. One of my spirit guides appeared to me and it was Thomas Merton, and I had loved his writings for years. And I thought, oh my gosh, I should definitely read Thoughts in Solitude right now. So I thought I would go online and buy a Thomas Merton book. And I was looking, there's so many. And I found this one, A Course in Christian Mysticism, which I thought would be really interesting. And then I started looking at it and I was like, oh my God, this is like, Thomas Merton was very smart. And I'm very smart too, but I think it's going to take me like maybe 5 years to read because it's extremely dense information that he would, I guess it's his actual lectures he would teach like to like the postulates. And then I got the best notebook in the world, right? So you're indulging, you're getting these things that they're not necessities. They're not, you don't need them to survive. But for the first time, maybe you can do that for yourself. You can just give yourself these things. So she's allowing herself to love herself. And that's why I said for some of us that have been saying they're like dating themselves or something like that, there's that element there in the collective. She's also wanting to share the love that she has, right? She's single. She's got a cup. She wants to share it. But is that what she's thinking about? Well, not really. Because the first thing on her mind is her heartbreak and the sorrow that she's been enduring. And the wounds that she needs to heal. That's what the self-love is for. That's what the self-indulgence is about. It's like, I really have a lot of sorrow. I really have a wounded heart. And I'm needing all of the tools I have, all the self-indulgence, all the self-care I have to really take care of this wounded heart and heal it. There's been some kind of a tower moment. This was the only card that was showing. So for Divine Feminine, we have a big shift or a big change because the tower is usually like there's some kind of, the divine has intervened here and done something to change her mind. Also, this is, remember, painful truths about the self that you glean from some kind of an experience with someone else, typically. So it's like seeing with clarity where the wounds are and what has triggered them. And I don't see Divine Feminine in sorrow, right? Because she's got love on her mind. But this, of course, is about love. She's got love on her mind and she's got that indulgence. So she could be sorrowful. That might be an underlying thing too, that just might be there because of the pain she endured. But she's experiencing this clarity about the triggers she receives. Also, the tower, in many other images of it, when it's struck by lightning, it's on fire. There are individuals falling out of it, like not so great. But in this one, we see this tower that is withstanding these lightning bolts and not crumbling. And so the other meaning that I'm getting from this is she's having a really difficult time letting go of a specific person, a specific individual. It's really tough for her. She doesn't know how to let go, and she's working on it because she loves herself and she wants to experience her fulfillment. So she knows she has to let go. So there's those layers there. There's the triggers in the past. She has clarity about where those triggers come from. And so because she's gained that clarity, she's healed. Divine Masculine knows it. There's the star energy. So her clarity, the pain she experienced, those wounds, facing those triggers and healing. That's what she's thinking about. So she has hope. She has hope that because she understands the concept of self-love, because she has learned from these painful experiences that have caused these wounds, and because she is working on letting go, she's very hopeful that she can let go of finally the King of Pentacles. I will call him his correct name. This is the King of Pentacles from this deck. He's got the world in his lap and he's got power written underneath him, right? So Divine Feminine is hoping that, and also this is who wounded her, right? A specific iteration of the Divine Masculine has caused these particular wounds. And Divine Feminine is experiencing this shift, receiving this illumination about this Divine Masculine and understanding that the wounds that she received, they were this perfect reflection of what she needed. So the reason why she thinks it's difficult to let go of this Divine Masculine and why she's hoping that she doesn't have to is because the next thing on her mind is the World card or the Universe card in the Field Tarot in reverse, which is definitely a sense for me of it's not complete. It's not over, right? We are still in a cycle. We're still in a cycle where these triggers are still needing this healing energy in regards to this Divine Masculine energy. And the final thought is the Chariot. Balanced, upright, surrendering the reins, the ego under control, the divine charging forward. The divine already intervened with the Tower, right? Then Divine Feminine's healing energy in regards to this Divine Masculine energy that was keeping her in this endless cycle, this endless repetitive cycle. That is healed. We can now move on. We can now move forward. But this is what she's thinking about. It is very difficult to let go to be able to move forward. But the healing is there, and it's coming from this love of self and from this embracing of the Nine of Pentacles energy. Her heart space, the overall feeling of her heart space is the Muse of Voices, which in the Muse Tarot would be the position of the King of Swords. And so if I read this as the King of Swords energy, her heart is holding on to this. I mean, he's a good king, right? The King of Swords he's in his integrity. He's a good communicator. He's intellectual. He's in command of his emotions. But he's icy. He's cold. He's aloof. He's silent. He might have issues with withholding. This is who she loves. And this is what she's healing from. Nine of Wands, niggling feeling in her heart space. In the same position as the Nine of Pentacles. So the isolation, the separating herself, not dating, actually not seeing other people, but just being on her own, this is really what has allowed her to fill up her cup. And she's had to fill up her own cup because this guy wasn't doing it. But he's not supposed to, right? He's supposed to fill up his cup and then share from the overflow. So Divine Feminine has been doing this healing to be able to become fully capable of experiencing her abundance. I cannot make this up. The first thing in her heart, clarifying the wounds of her heart, is the Knight of Wands. Well, this is who wounded her, for sure. This is who caused her to feel the need to go within and analyze where these triggers were coming from, these wounds inside of herself. Now, this Knight of Wands could have showed up in reverse, but it showed up upright. So there's also a sense here that there is this individual who has swept her off her feet in a positive way, in a positive light too. And it's about her not waiting anymore also to just go and deal with this, but to actually just swiftly, without needing a strategy, just start to take care and address these wounds with that passion of being able to move on. That there's a swift motion that happens with the Knight of Wands. And to pair that with this Chariot energy, it really does seem to me about wanting to swiftly overcome these wounds. The Moon, clarifying the Tower. So Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, the same page here. For Divine Masculine, his mystery, his subconscious limiting beliefs have to do with offering Divine Feminine this pentacle. For Divine Feminine, her mystery, her limiting beliefs have to do with these triggers that happened to her that caused her to go into this space where she wants to remain hidden and secret and not come out and just stay in that dream space. It's also about how the dreams and that she had about this union, there has been this tower moment there. So there has either been the actual separation itself. It could be just about that, but I actually think what it is, it's just more that truths have been revealed about the reality of the situation, but there are secrets and mysteries still about exactly how she can stop having these triggers happen from Knight of Wands, because she's still experiencing it. So she's like, if I still see it, then there's something in me that still believes that is the only kind of love I'm worthy of, and she's needing to dig that out. The Star is clarified by the Two of Wands, which of course is the twin flame, one of the twin flame cards. It's a card also about asking and just waiting for something to come. You now don't have really anything you can do. You can't see what's going to happen. You can't see the end of that road or that path, but you're just sort of trusting that it's going to work out. And Divine Feminine is thinking in this star energy, in this healing energy, she's made a wish and she does believe that her wish will be fulfilled. But she has to stand her ground against this King of Pentacles. She has to be strong. She can't just allow him to engage with her the way that he's been engaging with her, because it has caused her these wounds, right? This is right above this position. So she needs to stand her ground against this energy that comes from Divine Masculine. But what do we know about Seven of Wands energy? Seven of Wands is an illusion. The things that we are standing our ground and fighting against, they're really beliefs that come from inside of ourselves. So we have to go within and figure out why we feel we need to stand our ground, because there is some kind of a wound in there that is causing you to have a reflection of Divine Masculine energy that you feel you have to stand your ground against. But it's just an obstacle that comes from within. Ultimately, Divine Feminine does feel that she's going to experience a victory. This is the Six of Wands, clarifying the World card. So she's thinking, in the end, I'm going to be victorious. I know that I am. Because, and this is her overfeeling today. Page of Swords. The Hanged Man in reverse. And the Knight of Pentacles. So Divine Feminine knows she's going to be victorious because when she surrenders the reins to the divine, she herself becomes brave enough to pick up that sword that she's not quite sure how to wield and just go after what it is that she wants anyway, trusting that the perspective she's gained from the divine is going to allow her to stand on her own. And this is, of course, a lot of movement here. So this is for Divine Feminines. There's Divine Feminines who are getting brave enough to move on from this Divine Masculine, which is probably why he's afraid of it over there. He's like, shit, I gotta do something quick. So she's becoming brave enough to move on. Step by step. This is also a card about motion. Even though it's slow motion, slow and steady, it's consistent, it's reliable, it's showing up for yourself every single day, day after day. I can say that I do this for myself in terms of my tuned in tarot, right? And my music, honestly. I show up every day. So I am definitely engaging in this behavior myself, which is I feel this forward motion of the Chariot. I picked up the sword, even though I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. Like, I'm going to try to get a Grammy from my record. That's what I'm going to try to do. I don't know fucking how I'm going to do that. But I suspended myself. I asked for what I wanted. I have hope that I'm going to be able to get it. And now I'm going to move. I'm going to keep it pushing so that I can go bit by bit, step by step towards this thing that I really desire to have, which is the full culmination of my project that I'm working on, which also, because of the way the energy works, is a reflection of my relationship. So if I'm plotting day by day towards this goal, if I'm being brave enough, if I'm not pausing and waiting anymore and just kind of making my way towards what it is that I dream about, my Divine Masculine is doing this too. All right, let us look at the oracles for ya both. Divine Masculine, we'll start with you. You are in the shadow attributes of the hero right now. Escapism and a false sense of heroism. And you need to come into the light, which is the passion for a journey of personal empowerment. So Divine Masculines, you might be in your runner energy a little bit. You might be escaping. You can also have, this false sense of heroism. It might be in regards to the union too, which you're kind of acknowledging, because the Six of Swords in reverse is about realizing that Divine Feminine doesn't need you to be a hero here. She really just needs you to be yourself. You're really so intimidated about what to do, and you're worried about trying to be a hero or whatever. And Divine Feminine, she doesn't need a house. She doesn't need a car. She doesn't need money. She doesn't need jewelry. She doesn't need clothes. She doesn't need flowers. She needs you to be fully yourself. So come into the light and have a passion for self-empowerment. As you empower yourself, Divine Feminine does the same. You're in the shadow attributes of the rebel. So you are currently rejecting legitimate authority out of anger or rebelling out of peer pressure or fashion. And you need to challenge authority to affect social change and reject spiritual systems that do not serve your inner needs. So I'm drawn to rejecting legitimate authority out of anger. So there's a part of you that feels diminished by feminine energy. You don't even know why, because it's got something to do with your subconscious. So it's got something to do with childhood wounds, most likely. And because of this, the feminine energy for you, when you want to be in control. You would like to be the king here and patting the little family. Like, you don't like this feeling and you rebel against this feeling out of anger. But just like Divine Feminine, who gets this card often for you, right? She doesn't like being told what to do either. She had her own Divine Feminine controlling, overbearing energy in her life. And you know what? It's part of you, right? You have that inside of you. And she does this to herself. And so do you. But just like Divine Feminine gets this card, and I have to say to her, babes, I know that you're angry and you feel like Divine Masculine is in control and telling you what to do. But that's what you asked me for. Divine Feminine, you were like, can I have Divine Masculine energy who will take the lead? And the universe was like, okay. And then they gave it to you and you were like, I don't like this. I don't like being told what to do. And the universe was like, okay, I can't. Right? Same thing is happening for you, Divine Masculine. You have requested a Divine Feminine energy you've requested an Empress. An Empress to match your Emperor energy, to share power with you, right? But you're afraid that the power dynamic is imbalanced, that she has more power over you because of how much love you feel for her and because she's very formidable. So you're rejecting when she's like, look, bro, you gotta meet me where I'm at. You're like, no. You want to meet her where she's at, but you're like, no, I'm not going to let her dictate how things go. I can't do that. If I let her dictate how things go, I'm going to be right back where I was before. And you know how that turned out? Not so great. Kind of turned out like this. Okay? And it wasn't me getting the lollipop that was the justice, you know? Right? So, no. You want me to come now? Nope. I'm going to come when I want to. Okay? I love you. I love you. But I'm going to come when I want to. I love you though. But I'm coming, not now. No. But Divine Feminine has legitimate authority. You asked for an Empress. Did you ask for a princess that you could keep in a tower? Maybe you did. And this isn't your reading. Go then. Go get a princess. But you asked for an Empress. And you have to negotiate, compromise, and work with an Empress. You can't just tell her what to do. She's not going to do it. You're going to be very uncomfortable for your whole lives together. Like, it's just not going to be cute. So you both have to work on that power dynamic, that balance. It's really hard for you because when you love someone, you want to surrender to them. But if you do that too much, you get feelings of resentment. And now I'm blown away because you literally just got the same exact cards that you got yesterday. And I shuffled that damn deck. You can see it on Instagram. Go watch it. You got retreat. You got blessings of abundance. You are worried that Divine Feminine is going to leave, that she's going to retreat from you because you're not sharing with her these blessings of abundance, right? The 10 of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, those are in reverse. The moon is clarifying them. They're hidden. So you're afraid Divine Feminine is going to retreat if you don't give her these blessings of abundance. And she will. So stop being afraid of that and just fucking give her the blessings of abundance somehow, man. I don't know what to tell you. I literally don't know. One of the wild card readings that I'm going to do is going to be like, why can't Divine Masculine surrender this abundance. Like, I'm just literally going to do this reading because I do not know how to answer this question for you. Because I don't know what is blocking you. I can't see it. You have to go within. You have to do that work and figure it out because you have everything ready. You keep teasing, you keep edging, and then retreating. And Divine Feminine is like, okay, fuck this noise. Fuck this noise, right? You're also getting your well-being card in reverse. So there's a fear. You have some fears right now about your health and well-being. Your age, your physical appearance, your like there's fears here. There's anxiety about it that you're trying to deal with. And you're just getting this message, which is a very strong message, that you must allow well-being. This was in reverse. You do not allow well-being when you are focused on illness or issues of health or mental health issues, whatever it is that you're worried about. If you get what you're focused on. So to receive well-being, you must allow well-being, which means what? You have to feel good. So you have to do things that feel good. It's like, I feel like if you just went to the doctor's office and you were like, hi, so, when I eat this, I've been having this happen. And like, I have this like weird thing. And like, I don't know what this is and what that is. And the doctor's like, and like taking notes. And then at the end is like, you know what I think would be, what would make you feel good right now? And the person would be like, oh, I don't know if I don't have these symptoms. And like, okay, all right, okay, well, that's true. Well, what else would make you feel good right now? For me, probably, if we're speaking from my personal experience, I would probably feel good if I had some like pretty strong weed or something, or like, I don't know, a really good book or a good movie, or go out to eat at a nice place, or I'd really like to go outside. Oh my God, dogs make me feel good. I want to get a husky. I love dogs. And so suddenly the patient is starting to talk about the things that they like, the things that make them feel good, whatever. The wise doctor would be at that point say like, okay, so here's a prescription. This is for, whatever generic skin cream this person needs for the anxiety they have about what's wrong with them when there's nothing wrong with them. This is like obviously when there's not something very wrong with you. Like sometimes you go to the doctor like, my arm is broken. I mean, that's different. This is like vague symptoms, worries about health, hypochondriac kind of things. Like, what's this? What's that? This is this type of patient. But so the doctor finishes and then takes a prescription pad and writes on it, I want you every day for at least 15 minutes minimum. Before bed, when you first wake up, you pick. I want you to think about everything you just talked about in this office with me that makes you feel good. And that's your prescription. Here you go. The person would be cured because they are allowing well-being in the moments that they're not focused on the lack of well-being. So you really need to just do things that make you feel good. That can be a slippery slope when self-indulgence is involved, because you can be doing things that make you feel too good. So you have to balance, of course. You can't just be like, well, I'm just going to ingest 2,000 milligrams of THC and CBD oil between Sunday and Thursday of last week. No, don't do that. Do not do that. But do some things that make you feel good that aren't detrimental to you. I mean, I was fine. I got a lot of stuff done, but I did take a lot of naps. There was a lot of naps going on during those 4 days. I must have needed it. Hey, surrender to the divine, like, please. And seeing as you did get the Hanged Man in reverse, and this was also in reverse as well, there is here for you, Divine Masculine, it is very difficult to surrender control. You do not like it, but you must do this thing because as smart and cool as you are, as talented, as, as bright of a star as you are in the sky, the divine is brighter. So surrender. Communication is key. You got a shit ton of Moonology cards, by the way. You need to communicate, and there's the twins there. You must communicate so that this personal issue you have will reach its resolution. And please, Divine Masculine, do not let your past hold you back. You are held back by your pattern. You both have a pattern here, remember? A cycle. A repetitive cycle of loving, freaking out, triggering, panic, sadness, loving, freaking out, panicking, triggering, sadness, loving, freaking out, panicking, triggering, sadness. What the fuck? That's the pattern of the past. There is literally no reason why you have to engage in that pattern again unless you so choose. And if you want to do something different, you must just choose to do something different. Stop overthinking. You're already doing it. You're thinking so much. You've got the pentacles. You've got the offer. You've got this. You've got that. Why don't you think about it some more? Koala Spirit. The message from Koala Spirit is Spirit has a plan, and you're getting the protection message. Are you feeling uneasy and mistrustful of the world? Have you been hiding in a safe spot, afraid to venture out because you're convinced that life and other people will disappoint you? Koala Spirit has appeared to let you know that your faith is misplaced. The present safety you seek is already passing away because all things are temporary and outer conditions are always changing. Find your safety by placing your faith and trust in Spirit, surrendering to the divine, who will grow the abundance that is already yours. Perhaps you are acting slowly and overly cautiously because you lack faith that there is more for you out there than what you know. You may have boxed yourself into a safe place that has nothing else to give you and become so familiar with it that you've forgotten to explore. Are you feeling pessimistic and convinced there is nothing more out there for you? Koala Spirit reminds you that self-care is meant to replenish you so that you can venture out again in faith, trusting that there is no limit to the joy Spirit wants you to experience. Be good to yourself and reconnect with Spirit to reclaim your faith in things yet unseen. The only reason that you would be controlling Divine Masculine is because you are afraid. You just are afraid, but you must trust that Spirit has a plan. Divine Feminine. The hedonist card in reverse. What do you mean? Am I being too self-indulgent, universe? Pursuing pleasure to the detriment of health and indulgence at the expense of others. What do you mean it's not healthy to drink a whole bottle of rosé and cocktails? Okay. So come into the light, which is inspiring creative energy to embrace the good things in life and celebrating the beauty in yourself. So you might be a little bit too much into the pleasure zone. And that makes a lot of sense because if you have an area of lack or a feeling that there's a void somewhere within you, and with this Divine Feminine who's not getting any sexy times, there's definitely probably a feeling of lack in that respect. So you will overdo it in the pleasure, in other stimulating other aspects of the pleasure center for the brain so that you can make up for the loss. So come into the light here. It is one thing to enjoy the fine things. It is another thing to do that until you're sick and not feeling so great and taking a depressant, which could maybe cause your depression to happen. I don't even like alcohol, so I don't even know. It's just my friend's birthday, and I was like, oh, it'll be fun. Is it fun? It's debatable. It's debatable. I was writing pretty clear text though. I was like, I read the things I wrote last night and I was like, dude, I vaguely remember writing this, but it sounds really smart. So even when I'm drunk, I sound totally normal. Oh God. All right. Student, humility and devotion to knowledge and an openness to lifelong learning. So you've embraced that this isn't something that you're going to like get a diploma for in a couple of months and be done with. You're like, hey, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. So cool beans. But you're in the light as a student and you like this energy. I mean, I'm buying notebooks, I'm buying courses on Lenormand and really complicated other courses I didn't know I was getting. So you're really in this in the pleasure aspect of that, of learning things. You like it, it feels good. Whenever I read Harry Potter, I always want to go back to school. And I'm on the third year right now, and so I'm seeing myself buying a workbook, buying notebooks, buying post-its. Like, I want to go back to school. I love school. I went to so much school. I have 2 bachelors, and then I honestly, I probably could get a master's in library science if I went back to school for like a year, because I minored in library science at the master's level. Then I also studied early childhood development. I obviously have studied esoteric, like religious stuff. I was like a catechist. Like I cannot get enough of school. So you're in this place where you're feeling like excited to learn, and you're releasing arrogance and an unwillingness to translate the knowledge that you receive into action. So you're not just getting this knowledge and sitting on it, you're actually doing something about it. Unlike my library science degree. Hey, you know what? I use that all the time because I am constantly organizing things. Love. You got love on the brains, and you got God and God's love as your guardian today. So when you align with love, what do you get? You align with source. If we looked at everything in your head space, we looked at everything in your heart space, and the only thing that really matters is that the thing that you are thinking about the most all day is love. And that is good. And God is here with an emphasis, actually, that when you align with love, you align with spirit and spirit's plan for you. Saint Joan of Arc is here to help you be a leader. At first, you thought, divine masculine needs to take the lead because of our feelings about that. But now you're realizing, oh, I'm divine masculine. I'm divine masculine inside of myself, so I can take the lead in my life. And I don't have to wait for someone to come get me, come fetch me. Like, I can just go take the lead myself and do what it is that I need to do. You're getting this friendship card, which is like the 3 of Cups energy, and it's really joyful. I mean, I just had fun yesterday with my friends, and I've been experiencing a lot of joy from my friendships lately. So this is to continue doing this. This is also about developing this friendship with your divine masculine, because a lot of times we don't do that. We get so focused on their being going out with us that we forget that we're supposed to be friends with that person. So there's also a call here to experience friendly feelings towards your divine masculine, the way that you do towards friends too. Like, you don't put pressure on your friends to do things for you at a certain time, I hope. Are you like, I don't do that. I don't call up my best friend and say, like, listen, I need you to do this for me by next week or we can't talk anymore. My friend would be like, no. It would be a much different conversation, right? It would be like, hey, this is really bothering me, this dynamic that's happening in our friendship, and can we talk about it? And if it's a good friend, they'll be like, yeah, let's figure it out. You're not gonna be like, listen, either sort this shit out or get the fuck out of my life. That's not really a friend. That's probably more of an acquaintance or somebody you don't like that much. So you really need to develop friendship with divine masculine. You can't hold this card. You're getting balance, spirituality, and practicality, and it is in its reverse, which means you fucking really need to do it really badly. Please, 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 please take these spiritual concepts, take these lessons, and apply the knowledge in a practical way. Step out of your comfort zone if that Tower is here. You're uncomfortable. Sit in it. Sit in the discomfort. That is what causes us to expand. Don't let pride get in your way. Don't let pride get in your way. There's a few people in the collective who I've been talking to about their relationships, etc., who have a divine masculine energy that has stated that they really love them, they care for them, they clearly have pursued them, but they're at this point where that divine masculine is not ready to commit. So he wants to maintain a romance, a physical romance with divine feminine, but he doesn't want to commit to her fully and not have other interactions with people. Not in an unhealthy way, like hiding it, but just being like, I'm not ready to be exclusive because I'm still figuring things out. And there are those in the collective who are facing that type of a divine masculine that feel too proud to allow that behavior. So they can't be with them because of the jealousy they would feel if they were with someone else or whatever. And they also feel like they can't really be friends with them because it's like he didn't give them what they needed, so it would be like it would show weakness. It also would be very difficult at first to be friends when you know that this person is interacting with other people physically and you want to be with them. But unconditional love is about allowing the other person to grow and expand on their own timeline. And if that timeline doesn't fit yours and you need to move on from them, that's okay. But if it's about pride, that's a different matter. You need to get the pride and ego under control so that when you do interact with this divine masculine energy, you do so from a place that is truly coming from aligning with love. So, in other words, you don't have to cut off somebody because they're not ready for you. That doesn't have to be something you take personally. It doesn't mean that you're deficient. It means that they feel deficient in some way. If they care for you and they're like, you're too good for me at this point, I can't give you what you need, then that's not about your deficiency at all. It's about theirs. And don't take that personally. Once you've healed these wounds in regards to this masculine, there is a space there where you can align with love for this person. Doesn't mean you have to hang out with them because that might be too painful, but you just hold this space for them. The keepers of the earth are with you. You're not alone. Your ancestors are here. They're very invested in this working out. This is their legacy. So they're standing beside you. They're watching over you and they're protecting you and guiding you. And you're getting pig spirit. We're getting the protection message. We just got pig spirit the other day, but we got the oracle message. So let's read the protection one instead for today. Are you ruminating, turning thoughts around and around in your head, but not getting nearer to a decision or a solution? Pig spirit is here to protect you from analysis paralysis. Let your mind rest now and allow your intelligence to mingle with the mysteries of intuitive guidance, releasing your tight hold on facts and unsolved puzzles. This is really significant to me because this is mingling with the mysteries of intuitive guidance, that's the moon, and releasing your tight hold on facts and puzzles, whether it be a relationship or any other aspect of your life. In fact, now might be a good time to think about something else altogether and release your grip on needing to know. When your thought processes are muddied by fear and anxiety, allow Pig Spirit to lead you back to the right use of your natural intelligence. Take a break, relax, and release that ball of worry. Soon the smart choice will become clear to you. More facts may be needed, more digging for information, and more questioning. When seeking to learn more, enjoy the process of using your thinking prowess. All the elements of your intelligence are reliably guiding you now once you've given your mind a rest. That resonates with me so very, very much. Just try to stop thinking about it altogether, and you cannot stop thinking about something by saying, I'm going to stop thinking about this thing. Because when you do, for instance, Stop thinking about the purple elephant in the room. I'm going to stop thinking about the thing I have to think about in order to stop thinking about it. It doesn't work, right? So it's like, I'm going to stop thinking about divine masculine means you're thinking about divine masculine as you're stopping thinking about it. You can't do it like that. So divine masculine is going to be in your head, and you just have to think about other things too. And if you choose things that are very exciting or interesting, chances are the other thoughts are going to quiet. They're going to fall away. They're not going to have room. They're not going to have space. You use the same concept in nutrition. It's called additive nutrition. This is additive nutrition for the brain. Additive nutrition for the body is I eat a certain way, and if I drastically change the way that I eat, my body is likely to rebel. Either my weight I'll stop losing weight because my body is trying to maintain what it originally, where it was, its set point, and it will do everything it can to maintain that set point. It will put me into a state of deprivation. And when humans go into deprivation, and it doesn't matter what it is, if it's sugar, if it's alcohol, if it's heroin, if it's a person, if you deprive yourself of something, it is the number one way to never stop thinking about that thing again. They did a study back in the 70s of a group of men. They put them all on a 1,200 calorie diet for a year. Over half of the participants couldn't do it. They couldn't maintain it, and they fell out off of the program within 2 to 6 months. All of the participants who completed the program, some of them all of them had issues with mental health. By the end, all of them had therapists. They had like alternative, like mental health support. And an overwhelming majority of them ended up changing their careers completely and becoming and going into the culinary arts or food. So depriving yourself of food for a year turns you into a chef, because all you fucking thought about for a year is what you couldn't have. And when you were thinking about what you couldn't have, you were trying to make all this other food that tried to appease the thing that you really wanted, which is just fucking macaroni and cheese. You didn't eat that though. You had like zoodles with fake fucking nutritional yeast sauce that was like a pale comparison to what your memory of what you were deprived for was. And so in the end, the weight loss was insignificant. No one maintained it. And in fact, they all became severely fucked up mentally. And most of them changed their careers entirely. They changed who they were as a person because they were deprived of something for this long. So what they discovered from the study, which they've never applied, by the way, because they also figured out that that makes very, 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 very willing consumers, is that instead of depriving individuals of the things that they already enjoy and are used to, you add something new. You add something new that they like. And then they add that to what they've already been doing. Let's say you add a dessert, like let's say they really love chocolate, and you figure out how to make a chocolate dessert for them that has omega-3s. Maybe it's got avocado in it, so it has healthy fats in it. It's got a source of sugar that isn't refined of some kind. You get it as close as possible to chocolate mousse that they love, and you feed it to them. And they're like, wow, this is great. I could eat this all the time. Like, cool. Instead of this thing that you were eating before that really wasn't serving you in terms of your metabolism, your body, whatever, you can eat this new thing. You don't feel deprived. You've got something new. It takes the place of an old dessert that you didn't have to say, oh, I can't have that. You just don't have that as much because now you have this other new thing that's good. That's additive nutrition. You have to do that for your brain. You have to add in the thoughts that feel good, that you're comfortable thinking about and that you enjoy. And then eventually, because you're focused on that, those other thoughts are they're being crowded out. So That's what you need to do, Divine Feminine. To get off the topic of this person that you can't get off the topic of, you have to get on another topic. And it can literally be anything. And if it's your work, and if it's your, like a really fun project, if it's a family member who has an event coming up and you want to plan something fun for them, it literally could be anything. Just think about it for a little while today. And when you feel bad because you've been thinking it over and over and over again about the divine masculine or whatever it is that you're thinking about, notice it. If you can, in that moment when you notice it, be like, oh, I think I want to feel a little better. Just reach for a better feeling thought as much as you possibly can. Okay, this is for the couple as a union. These are the things that you are in union in regards to. You are in the light attributes of the artist. This is expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses and inspiring others to see life symbolically. So you are both really capable in the arts at this moment, and I'm pretty sure both of you are artists of some kind. This is a good time to express yourselves in this way. St. Hildegard von Bingen is here to help you believe. She was here yesterday too, 2 days ago, and I didn't really get to talk much about her because I was distracted by the trollers for a minute. But she's a truly gifted saint. She was multi-talented artist, musician, writer, and she was an abbess who was really unusual in her time because she, during this time, which was like, I can't remember what, so this was the 1500s or 1400s or 1500s. I don't know, maybe it's a little longer about that. I don't remember. But during that time, women had no power in the church at all. And she wanted to separate the nuns into their own convent, away from the monks who had been taking advantage of some of the nuns. She wanted to protect them. So she spearheaded a campaign to get her own convent built, and she was the abbess of it. She was an incredible saint. She believed. She had visions, all kinds of things. So she's supporting you and helping you both believe in this union right now. There's an emphasis on this card. Trust. Trust. And look, St. Hildegard von Bingen and a mirror. I love this. It's like trust in the connection, right? Trust in the mirroring. Trust in what I'm telling you when I tell you that this is energy and that you can shift energy inside of you. You can work with energy. You can flow with it. It doesn't dictate your life. This is a spiritual journey. The tarot is about a spiritual journey. I'm learning Lenormand, and I'm finding out that the Lenormand is much more about everyday fortune telling. If I was doing a Lenormand reading, it would be like I literally asked what my DM would do this weekend, and it literally told me exactly what he would do. It was like, he's going to do this, this, and this. I was like, okay, seems pretty accurate. I don't know. So it just tells you exactly. But tarot is about the spiritual journey. It's about understanding that the energy is a reflection. The only reason I could find out exactly what my DM was going to do is because my own intuition can tell me, because I am him. Because we're all one consciousness, and I'm a psychic. But just trust, believe, trust and believe with the faith of an apostolate. Like, just really believe. Your dreams need a practical plan. Come out of your dreams. Okay, wasp spirit. Sometimes life stings. This is 64, which for some reason yesterday, I think we got the 65 card. And when I was looking for that one, I was like, when I'm 64. So now we got the 64 card. I love that scene in the movie yesterday when he says, will you still need me when I'm 64? And she goes, why 64? And he's starting to realize that the Beatles don't exist in that, which is literally my nightmare. Oh my God. No Beatles, no Harry Potter. Kill me. All right. The protection message of Wasp Spirit is, are you holding on to anger, jealousy, or resentment because you got stung? Or could you have just stung yourself by comparing yourself to others? There will always be someone else who is more successful, happier, thinner, richer. Jealousy is the false belief that you can't have what you want, or someone could take away something that was supposed to be yours. Let it go and release all those feelings that are making the sting hurt long after the stinger has been removed. Wasp Spirit has woken you up now, and you are called to trust that disappointment can lead you to a different and better path. Align with Spirit now and trust that this too shall pass and is already doing so, for the pain subsides when you stop telling the story of how much it hurt. So that is the message for the two of you today. And I do think it's interesting that I thought of the song Will You Still Need Me? Will You Still When I'm 64? Because you have to tell, if you want to make it, if you want to be together, if you want to stay together, you have to tell the story of that. You don't want to tell the story of what hurts. That is what's keeping you in the pattern. Remember the pattern? Remember loving, freaking out, surrendering, panicking, whatever the fuck I had said before. I don't remember, whatever the hell that pattern is. That pattern. That comes from thinking about it. That comes from thinking about how much that hurts. That comes from calling your friends up and being like, you want to know my DM did today? Okay, well, he fucking did this. And he's probably not going to do anything else. And like, obviously it's making me want to be with him, but like, shut up. Oh my God, shut up. And I'm talking to myself here. Shut up. Stop talking about what hurts. Stop talking about what you don't want. Why do you do this? Don't. Let's get some advice that we can take with us for the day today so that we can figure out how to shift this energy, how to use our minds wisely, how to trust in the plan that Spirit has, and how to stop talking about things that hurt and start talking about things that we want to be true and that we want to happen in the world. All right, so we're going to close the reading out with these Island Time Wellness cards. Please like, subscribe, share, click notifications so that you know when I'm going live. Or alternatively, you can follow me on... By the way, alternatively, that comes from the drag world. Apparently, my sister is the one who taught me to put T's in front of everything. But somebody asked me that the other day. And I was like... They were like, what is that from? And I said it was from... drag, and I realized that not everybody knows, and so I do it all the time, and I'm like, oh, people must be like, why does she add tea to Alternatively, you can see me on Instagram where you can know when I'm going live because I post that time-lapse shuffle I mentioned before. All right, what can we do today? Divine Masculine. Here's what you can do. It's kind of cute. So you're getting coffee cup and girl talk, okay? So meeting and conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted, friendship, time with friends, living in the moment, having fun. So spend some time with your friends today. Like, go get a cup of coffee, like maybe communicate, talk about, if you're in the same position as Divine Feminine and you've been overthinking, which you did get the Stop Overthinking card, talk about other things, right? That don't make you feel bad. Talk about things that make you feel good, but talk about what you want. Also, this card has on it happily single, moving on. And so there could be this thing here too that is your fears about Divine Feminine being happily single and moving on. You can counter these fears by actually just talking to Divine Feminine as well. So instead of this being a message of like having conversations with friends, this could be actually talking to this Divine Feminine that you're afraid is going to move on. Actually having a date, getting a cup of coffee with her, having a discussion, right? Starting to become friends. Right now, you're not friends. You're not friends right now. Nope. So maybe start doing that. Okay. Divine Feminine. You are getting separation, sadness, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, unsure of the future, and palm trees. Stability, security, permanence, growth, endurance, and flexibility. Wow. So Divine Feminine today, when you're focused on separation, if you're feeling sadness, you want to do the thing I said, which is additive brain nutrition. You want to think about stability, endurance, and flexibility, right? You're afraid. that you're going to be in separation forever because you have an idea of what is supposed to happen. It's a rigid one, and you need to be more flexible. So today, when you think about separation, I want you to be more flexible. I want you to be less rigid about how you think about it too. Like that repetitive pattern, gently getting away from the topic, thinking about divine masculine, thinking about separation, and then aligning with love, right? Work also on your own stability and your security. And you're both getting the boat, receiving what you need, progression, arriving, moving on, and closure issues. I see this Six of Swords energy, which we already saw today. This is upright for me, and I see this as progression. There are some divine feminines that have to move on at this time while this divine masculine works himself out. Those divine feminines are most likely moving on, which is what divine masculine is going to have to be talking to his friends about. This is for some in the collective. For others in the collective, the progression is the arrival, that they're coming together, and that is what this is about instead. That the talk and the conversation is with the divine feminine to develop this friendship that we saw coming from her side. But either way, you need to think of yourselves today as receiving what you need. So if you were looking for answers and you had that card that was like you kept looking for answers, whatever, just release your need to know answers. Release your need to understand the mysteries as much as possible, and do that by additive thinking. Okay? All right, that is all the messages I have for you today. I hope that you do have a wonderful day today. I will not be here in the morning tomorrow, but you can catch me on Instagram at 12 p.m. with Grace Strega. It is one of my favorite things to do every week. It's basically like you come over to our house while we have a cup of coffee, shoot the shit, and read cards together. So it's pretty cool. She takes divine masculine or feminine, and I take the opposite energy. We check in for about 30 minutes. And then there's another 30 minutes for you to ask questions, personal questions, if you have any, stuff like that. And we welcome that. And we will pull cards for you on the spot, and you'll get 2 powerful readers reading for you. It's pretty cool. So join me tomorrow, 12 p.m. Pacific Coast time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on Instagram, for Tuned in Tarot's Instagram. And if you don't already follow Grace Strega, please go over and do so. She's amazing. You will really love her readings. She reads every single day on Instagram, and her collective is my collective, 100%. So check out Grace Strega tomorrow. I think that is the only announcement I have at the moment, except that I'm still inviting you to please let me know what sort of readings you would like to see that differ from this style that I do every day. So every day I do 6 cards for divine masculine and feminine headspace and heart space for a total of 24 cards. Math. 24 cards that are 24 tarot cards. And I go, obviously you were here, you just saw it. Okay. That's my normal reading style. So I have some other readings that I do for Patreon subscribers. And I have just I'd like to just do some different things. So if you have ideas for spreads you would like to see, somebody said they wanted to see the Maiden Mother Crone spread. I'm gonna do one where I play solitaire and just read the cards as I play solitaire. I do that for fun sometimes myself, so I'm gonna do that. But if you can think of cool, fun things you'd like to see me do, or questions that you want, if you want to be like, why is divine masculine being such an idiot? Like I will answer those questions specifically for you. So either email me at tunedintaro@gmail.com or go ahead to my DMs over on Instagram and let me know what kind of spreads that you would like to see me read, because I'm going to do a wild card reading once a week, every week, starting next week. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you tomorrow over on Instagram with Grace Strega at 12 p.m. Have a great rest of your day.